And one thing I'm proud about Be Free is we've managed to have such difficult conversation with young people. And often we differ. We've got very divergent views. But never once has any of them got up to insult or intentionally try and humiliate another person. So if young people can do it, our politicians and all the older people who are dominating the conversation in society at the moment can do so as well.
As is common in most countries in Africa that have experienced conflict, Rwanda's dark past had an equally dark underbelly: divisionism, hate, and violence. Through bad leadership and the politics of hate, the hearts and minds of Rwandans were manipulated by a post-colonial ruling elite solely seeking to hold on to power for themselves. In a land of one common language, one religion, and no borders separating ethnic groups, these divisive politics led to an artificial divide in our people, in families, neighbors and friends turned foes. Mothers kill their own, born from inter-ethnic marriages. And in July 1994, our nation was faced with an indescribable sense of despair, as there were about 100 women victims of mass rapes as part of a widespread intent to infect them with HIV and AIDS, 50,000 widows, and 75,000 inconsolable orphans.
We build a nation, we build the identity by building the continuity. We can't be a bungee cord type of engagement. We need to be able to have the legacy. To have the legacy is to build Namibia, to build Rwanda, but prepare our youth to be able to inherit, as the First Lady put it, very seriously, commit our youth, educate our youth for life, not for certificates.
Recognize the distortion. Do we take personal responsibility? What role do we play? What role do you, as a lady that grew up with a genocide victim, what role do you play in rewriting that story, in reconnecting with people, in inspiring the young people to understand the dignity that we so badly want? How do we bring it back, and how do we embody?
I would not want to live a life where I believe that, or where I see, how can I put it now, the blood of my ancestors being in vain. No.
That what the Germans have done to us. How much will it be? Not even the 20 million skin, because they took our lands, they killed our people, they took our resources there in the south and all over, they raped our women, children have born, grandchildren up to now even don't know who are their grandfathers.
What do you think influences our viewpoints on how we can close that gap between our generations before? Because I think, in my own opinion, I believe that sitting at the feet of our elders and listening to what they have to say and implementing it in a way that we can also be satisfied is a good way of moving forward and helping to heal the nation in a way.
A lot of young people don't feel that they have that burden to effect any change. And that's very dangerous. And we see it every day. We see it on social media. We see it when there's a protest. Even if the protest is in favor of something that is for young people, they won't show up. And that's apathy. And it's very dangerous. But you are right in that the one way that we can close the gaps that exist between the generations is that we must have access to older generations.
My issue is that we are obsessed with revising history so much. Right now we are here discussing the events of Rwanda, what happened in Rwanda and how many people died, and it was really sad. right? But little conversation is being had on how we can prevent that from happening again.
Are equally important in constructing human life. So whether we are conscious or not is not just the matter, but what is it that we suppress? What about the frozen trauma in the society? What about the failure to address the intergenerational trauma?
We make our decisions based on our perception of what happened in the past. And I think one of the most important things in Namibia today is to reflect on our history and to deal with it. And it's not just about dealing with the past. Dealing with the past is about dealing with the present. We had apartheid, we had genocide. But have we learned lessons from those experiences?
Find out from their side, basically, in terms of how there was superior differences between the Hutus and the Tutsis in Rwanda. How are they currently trying to find a balanced approach in terms of dealing with the rights and remedies to make sure that the ground is leveled now in terms of those that were superior before?
Entitlement, and maybe people want to claim the properties that belonged to their ancestors. But again, because of that visionary leadership I talked about, that we need to be ready to take unpopular and very difficult decisions. A decision was taken to really not to go back to claiming back the property, but a formula was somewhere somehow found for people who have been utilizing the land, to share, and so that you don't really give the whole thing to some and leave others without assets.
Let bygones be bygones. Because we cannot look for development and move forward if we keep on taking a step back. We need to let bygones be bygones. Those were our forefathers' mistakes. What happened? Also this thing of blaming. What do we blame now? Because I cannot be blamed for my grandfather's mistakes. Neither can we blame a white man for his forefathers' mistakes. So we need to let bygones be bygones.
When we are talking as young, we also have to check the words that we are using. Our culture is now compromised. Our culture is gone. Because in our days, really, we can't say some of these things that I see now young people are talking to our elders at all. But now our young people, when they talk to the elders, they don't make difference between themselves and those who are older than them.
I myself was born in exile. I know what it is to not to have a country. So don't play with it. And one of the guiding principles is always to say that how do you put an end to this cycle of violence? You can decide to put an end to this with making the right decisions.
Because I think a mistake we're making is we want our identity and our hurt and our pain to be recognized, but we dismiss that of others. But we're gonna end the session with a question.
Yeah.
Who are we as Namibians? And go to the hashtag, put one word, not a lecture, not nothing, just one word. Who are we? Thank you.
Thank you.